Hi, everybody. We turned the corner and it's December already. Oh my gosh. It's unbelievable how time goes so quickly. I'm glad to see everybody. We have items on the agenda. If you take a look, if you have questions as we go, please feel free to ask, put them in the chat. It's a pleasure to be here. So following the agenda, first on the agenda are some of the announcements, and I see that Drew is here. So Drew, you want to tell us a little bit about the new exhibit at the Koa Gallery?
Mahalo, Luis. Yeah, sure. I'm just trying to see, to scroll through the pages and see if Sean is also on.
Hey, Drew, I'm here.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Hello, gang. My name is Drew. With you all now in my capacity as director of Koa Gallery at Kapiolani. As always, very grateful for the opportunity to share a bit with you folks about what's going on in the arts on campus. Today I'm going to be speaking with Sean about the current exhibition at Koa Gallery and Lama Library. It's called Learning from Leahi. I think at its foundations, the exhibition is really concerned with acknowledging the particularities of place, the place that supports Kapiolani Community College, as well as the role that the architect has played and continues to play in the occupation of Hawaii by the United States through its militarized urban development. Luis, I'm not sure how much time we have, but can we take maybe 5 to 6 minutes? Is that cool? Okay, thank you. So Learning from Leahi is presented by Hawaii Nonlinear, or HNL, an Aina organization for architects whose mission is to recover indigenous knowledge in Hawaii's built environment. Established in 2020 by Sean Connolly of Afro-Oceanic Honolulu, Hawaii, and Dominic Leong of Leong, New York, New York. HNL promotes architecture that 1, advocates for land reparations, 2, climate justice, 3, food sovereignty, 4, material innovation, and 5, cultural excellence. We're fortunate to have Sean with us today. Sean's an artist architect, geomancer, mystic, and a self-identified ghost in the field. Mahalo for making the time to join in, Sean. As a prelude to Sean's short presentation, we'd like to show a video clip. Some of the executive leadership team had a chance to see a little bit of this video already, but it's titled Leahi, Diamond Head State Monument. It was begun in 2019 and is ongoing, and it sort of depicts different artist-driven vantages of Leahi. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Everyone see that? All right. we'll stop there. Sean, I'll turn it over to you.
Hello, everyone. Mahalo, Drew, for opening Koa Gallery for Hawaii Nonlinear and this installation, and also for creating space for artists wherever you go. I'm going to share a bit of an excerpt from our gallery catalog. The exhibition title, Learning from Leahi, is an homage to the seminal book, Learning from Las Vegas, a retroactive manifesto for the 1960s American urbanism of the Las Vegas Strip. Often read as a reaction to the elitism of architectural culture and the modernist project, the authors Denise Scott Brown, Robert Venturi, and Stephen Eisenhower argued for the validation of the status quo and the symbolism of popular culture as a means for architecture to connect with ordinary people. With the intention to make architecture more accessible, Learning from Las Vegas also repositioned the role of the architect as not just a designer, but as a sociologist documenting the environment. Shifting the focus from Las Vegas to contemporary Honolulu, this exhibition reframes the architectural legacy by introducing an analysis of American settler colonialism, offering a critical reflection of the architectural replication of American culture as a status quo, and the role of the architect as a key protagonist in the occupation of Hawaii by the United States through its militarized urban development. The urbanism of Honolulu today is shaped by a network of military installations that formed the original US military's coastal defense system designed to defend American sugar plantations established around Pearl Harbor and encompassed the entire island of Oahu. Diamond Head State Monument, or Leahi, Honolulu's most recognized landmark with 1 million visitors per year, served as the Coastal Defense Strategic Command Center. When it comes for confronting the entanglements between Hawaii, the United States, and the role of design, institutions of architecture and urbanism, including landscape and planning, have all evaded accountability in both pedagogy and in practice. On the contrary, the profession often aids in the concealment of the US military's impact on the Hawaiian Islands, people, and culture, shrouding the relationship between military infrastructure, tourism, and urban development. A reckoning for architecture is upon us.
Nice. Well, for that, Sean, and for the important work that you and H&L are doing to advance more just futures for Hawaii within educational context and also within community. To all who are listening and interested, Learning from Leahi at Koa Gallery and Lama Library will be up through December 21st. And if you feel compelled to come down and connect with Sean in person, he will be at the gallery, I believe, from 2 to 4 p.m. tomorrow and Friday. Is that right, Sean?
Yes, looking forward to seeing anybody who comes by. Thank you.
Awesome. As mahalo for everyone's time and attention. Back to you, Chancellor Pagotto.
Thank you, Drew, and thank you, Sean, as well. Are there questions that folks would have right now in case they can't make it to the gallery 2 to 4 Thursday and Friday?
Hi, Drew. Did you announce this to the general public to be able to come and join, or are we still kind of keeping that contained?
Hi, Lynn. Thanks for that question. Yeah, Sean and I sent out an announcement through Koa Gallery's sort of subscription-based MailChimp account. And so people have been coming by using Lumisite when they visit, trying to keep the groups pretty small at this point. But if you know anyone who wants to stop by, please feel free to give them my email address and we can set something up.
Thanks.
Other thoughts? Okay, then. Thanks so much, Sean, for joining us today. And I'll try to make it down to the gallery 2 to 4, Thursday or Friday. And Drew, thank you. Always a pleasure. Okay, back to the agenda. We have, I always lose it. Where is it? Oh, annual report. So we have for the last few years been compiling the wonderful accomplishments from faculty, staff, and students all throughout the college. And this year we have the 2020-2021 annual report. And thank you, Lisa, for putting that link in the chat. So if you haven't seen it in the agenda, you can now flip to it. This document requires a lot of coordination gathering the information, writing the information, compiling the pictures, getting everything right. So I would love to say thank you right now to Joanne and to Lisa Yamamoto for all of the work over all of these months. They start this project, May, June, and it takes us this long to put it all together. Thank you to them. Some people contributed articles. Thank you. You'll see there are bylines there for some people. It's a beautiful document, covered, design, and photographed by Kapolani Landgraf. It's just a joy. You'll see, no doubt, your students, your program, your colleagues represented in the document. Thank you to all of you who put some time and effort, and to all the folks who made 2020, 2021 actually a good year for us. If you look at the inside, close to the very end, you'll see a list of rankings that the campus achieved in that year. We're #1 for this and #3 for that. And it's all remarkable because we have to think about, that was a COVID year, and still yet all of these things were able to be done by the folks who live and learn on this campus. So I'm so happy and so thankful for that book. It is a wonderful compilation of the accomplishments of the folks on the campus. So enjoy it. It's online. You can send it to your relatives. I've already done that. So that they can see the life you live on a day-to-day basis, and the wonderful things that the campus did to accommodate and to support our students in COVID times, which continue to this day. Any thoughts, those of you? I can see in the chat, some people are commenting. Yeah, it is. It's dramatic and it's beautiful. Okay, back to the agenda. And for those of you who might have been asleep for the last 2 weeks, yesterday was Giving Tuesday. And we did amazing things. We had a goal. Let's do at least as well as last year. Maybe let's try to do better. And this campus has exceeded all expectations in generosity. And Lynn's going to tell us a little bit more. Lynn.
Hi, everybody. Congratulations, KCC. I wanted to thank you very much for a very successful Giving Tuesday. Let me share my screen here. Is it sharing?
Yeah.
Overall, for the University of Hawaii system, in the 24-hour period, we raised $220,000 with 1,117 gifts. So yay, that was a big push over last year's. I think we did 75,000 last year.
Wow.
For our own campaign that we selected to feature our Pohukaina food pantry, we raised over $10,000. So congratulations to you all on this. We had a beautiful matching gift from our Chancellor, Dr. Louise Pagotto. We had influencers like Louise Yamamoto, who made a very nice, significant gift and also reached out to our retirees. So we have a lot of retirees who also made a donation. So here, there's a donor wall. I need to move this. And it shows everybody who's made a gift. And I know some of you didn't want to list your gifts or your name, but thank you. I know who you are. We know who you are, and we're so very grateful for all of these gifts that pushed us just over the $10,000 level. We raised more than $10,000 because there were other funds that accepted money, like our Scholarship Equity and Access Fund. And you can check this out. I'll leave the link in the chat right after I'm done. But I'd like to take this time to especially tell you about this Giving Tuesday. It's not a major gifts focus, because I'm a major gifts officer and I work on those larger gifts. This is an annual giving campaign, an electronic online campaign. So we couldn't have been very as successful if it wasn't for Lisa Yamamoto and her help with this beautiful video that she made. Please go look at it. It's just really superb and shows how much work goes into the food pantry and what size and capacity that we work with. Lisa was very diligent with our social media posts and putting things to the bulletin. So couldn't have done this without you, Lisa. Thank you. And also thank you for your gifts that you made to the food pantry. Also, one last thing, and this is kind of like KCC pride. We raise the most out of all the community college, of course, if not tripling the amount. So I'm very, very proud to be a part of this campus, very proud of you and the work that you've done to help ease the burden of hunger and the stress that that causes to our students and community. We have enough to buy refrigerators and shelving and give healthier foods to our students and make the work a little bit easier on Luna Lilo scholars, service learning students, and Lavache and Coco. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lynn, on that report. And not that I'm in the least competitive when it comes to our standing relative to our sister colleges, but if you look on those tiles, if you go to that website and you look at the tiles and click on them for the other campuses, and you can see how much they gave, I want you to feel that pride. I want you to feel what it means to be an educator at Kapiolani Community College. Oh yeah, there. Lynn can show you there's Leeward's one, the orange one, and anyway, I did that this morning. I clicked on all of them. Look at that, 3,000, and that's the most of the other community colleges. So I dare say that we raised more than 6 other campuses combined. I'm fairly certain that I would be right. 5 cents. No, I'll bet you 5 cents. Yeah. But I'm not competitive at all. I just know that I'm, like Lynn, very proud to be an educator on this campus. So thank you for that. And then before we get to the president's announcement, I just want you guys to take a look at, Naval put a note in the chat that we shouldn't forget about SURF. That's the Student Undergraduate Research Fair that will be, again, a virtual. It's an exciting thing. I wish that you have the time to drop in on those sessions. Just, if you have 10 minutes, just drop in. And I always like to do that and ask them hard questions, and they're always ready with an answer. They're wonderful students. So yeah, if you can drop in on a session, it'd be great. There are all kinds of remarkable topics. So do that. Also, today, if you were on the campus, I can't even see, what am I doing? This is a calendar from the Ecology Club. It's $12. Proceeds go to fund activities. All the photographs inside were taken by members of the club. And there's lots of bird pictures because that's Wendy's gig. So take a look. I don't know if they're going to be on campus any other times. There's some flowers, those of you who like flowers. I'm not sure where they're going to be. Is Wendy on, or does anybody know after today? Because I know they were by the lawn today. I think you should just email Wendy Kuntz, and ask, where do I get my calendar? And it's for next year. Don't think you just got 4 months. It's for all of it. Carol?
Yes, I have an announcement if you have time.
Yeah.
Okay, I did want to announce that we're completing the cycle of Kaya Ulu webinars for the 75th anniversary. And what more befitting webinar than to have the last one be about Queen Kapiolani's life and legacy. And the presenter is going to be former professor of ours, who is now over at Windward Community College, is Colette Higgins. And she is regarded as one of the leading historians who knows about the life and legacy of Queen Kapi'olani. And the moderator will be none other than Laurie Burke. And Polakiko Yagodich will be doing a special Oli. And that webinar is going to be on the 16th of December from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And I put the information in the chat. I hope that you can join us. The month of December is also very special because Queen Kapi'olani's birthday is on the 31st of December. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Carol. Will you put the link in the chat for the webinar?
Yes, I'm putting it in now.
Terrific. Thank you. Okay. On the agenda next is, and there was a question about this as well. President Lassner sent out an announcement today highlighting that, as of December 1, facilities could be at full capacity. That means, if your classroom sits 35, you can have 35 people in it by the president's announcement. And that's in part because the governor has now relinquished authority over each of the counties, and the county mayors can now determine what their gathering rules are as of December 1st. So what does that mean for our campus? It means that the classrooms in their normal setup pre-COVID, allowed for 3 feet between stations, between individuals sitting in each station. So if your class has an enrollment of 35 and it was in a classroom before COVID, it can be back in that classroom and you would still maintain some distancing and the class would be at full capacity. So, questions? What about rooms without 3 feet between desks? By the president's announcement, it's full capacity. Which classroom, Hal, doesn't have 3 feet between desks, between the people sitting in the desks? Your computer stations in your Copico classrooms? You sat, those are rooms for 20, right? By the president, you can have full capacity. Brian, you want to say something?
No. I the only thing I was going to say is Hal, just so that it's clear, it's hold on. It's 3 foot. It's not 3 foot. Yeah. So it's 3 foot center to center, basically mouth to mouth, nose to nose, breathing to breathing, which basically it gives you a full capacity room. I believe Copico 104 has more than enough of the 3 foot between folks in those stations.
Other thoughts, other questions? Pondering? Now, as of last count, and I don't know that the percentages still hold, but it was about 38% of our classes for next spring that would have some face-to-face component, either face-to-face for the class or face-to-face occasionally or face-to-face just for testing. So we're still operating with very limited numbers of human beings on the campus at any one time. Many classrooms have not been used for a whole year and maybe starting back because of the reduction in social distancing and the need to keep people so far apart. And maybe those classes are going back to those rooms for the spring. Maria, I think you wanted to give a heads up to folks.
Yeah, for those who are meeting face-to-face or have face-to-face classes or hybrid classes, and you're trying, trying to find out if you will be able to fit in the number of students that you have, please work with your dean to find rooms. We have a lot of rooms on campus that we could move classes around if you're not, just so that you feel comfortable teaching your face-to-face classes. And we will be setting up the classrooms before school starts, and you will know by then which classrooms are going to be available for you to use. I think primarily that would be impacting the arts and sciences classes, because health is always in Kalia, and then culinary is always where they are. Computers, ITS, they're always in the computer room. So there's only mostly the arts and science classes that will be impacted by where the classes are going to be held.
Yeah. And also I would encourage faculty, if you are considering coming back to the campus to work from your offices and you haven't been there for a year, you might want to take some time over the holidays to visit your office to see how much you got to clean up, because bugs like nothing more than a warm place that hasn't been disturbed for months and months and months. So be prepared to do some cleanup once you get into your office if you have not been there. More thoughts? Anyone? Will there be food service for students next semester? Gee, Lisa, are you listening in on a conversation that we had like 20 minutes ago in the
Maybe
ELT?
because her dean asked the same question.
Yes, we are trying to figure that out, Lisa. The question is there enough foot traffic on the campus to make it worthwhile for any food vendor to be here? Will there be enough people to make it worthwhile? So it is a question that we're not going to know for a little bit, but we are considering options right now, understanding that there are some students who are going to be here and some students who are going to be here for some extended periods. Serve it and they will come. Well, if they're on campus, yeah, but if they're not here, and there will be probably as many students on campus next spring as there are this fall, and that's not a big number right now, but we're thinking about it. Computers are out of date. I can't believe that, Candy, after all the technology that HERF was supposed to buy.
I think Carl is still working on the computers that were on the computer request list. The classrooms, I think we will be checking on the classrooms. I'm going to ask Carl to take the lead on that one, to check the classroom computers, so that the ones that are the instructor computers is what I'm talking about, not the ones in the cabinets or the laptops in the cabinets or whatever that is. So the computers in the classroom that's being used by the instructor are going to be tested. So that's why we need to get the rooms that will be used and start from there. The other classrooms can wait a while because they're not going to be used anyway. But for the ones that are going to be used, we'll check on the computers and get them updated.
Well, also, Maria, and just our offices, our computers are way behind, and I have a pretty new computer. I thought until yesterday, I thought I had a pretty new Mac, and come to find out mine's not up to date either. So I'm getting that done tomorrow. But I suppose this is going to be a big boom. And I'm wondering, with the HER funding, if there's any kind of update, like, did we get those computers? Were they approved? I really didn't hear anything after.
Carl was the one who put in the HERF request for that. Carl, are you on?
I didn't see him.
Okay.
Carl's not
I
on,
was
but it
gonna
was
pick on
approved.
him.
Okay, going through. Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, Carl's not on, but it was approved, and I just don't know where they're at in the procurement of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what would be important. Yeah, I think what you might be referring to though, Candy, is that your operating system needs to be updated. It's not necessarily that the computer itself is old.
Well, the ones, and at least in Alona and our social sciences department, we don't even have like Zoom capability. They're really ancient. I'm not really sure how old. So I'll check in as well with SALT on the whole issue. Try to get everybody up to date. I just hate to see a big boom and all of a sudden, we're all not up to compliance on that.
Okay. We're about to move into campus questions. And the first question was about whether we had new strategic goals for 2021 and beyond. And Kara has already put an answer in the chat. She's not present, but the strategic planning is underway, and it will be,
Oh,
you're
sorry,
coughing on mic. So Kara says planning is underway and full kickoff at the convocation in January. So there are no strategic goals yet determined for the next strategic cycle. So I'm really happy to know that you folks who are doing your ARPDs, which are due in December 15, are really thinking about putting in the new goals, but we don't have the new goals yet. They will be looked at very carefully and developed actually next semester. But Kara also says that the student researchers that will be part of the information gathering are going to be sharing some of what they've learned at the SURF meeting next week. So this is, if you're not into the agenda, this is what Kara said in her response. And yes, we will be sure that when we create the strategic plan, there will be a Word version so that it will be easy to cut and paste out of the Word version, as well as a PDF version for the website and everything else. Okay, that answers the questions that were submitted. There was questions about President Lassner, which we talked about. And then we have campus announcements. So in addition to the webinar about Kapi'olani, Student Congress is going to be doing classes in carts. You may have heard about this. We're going to be helping students get ready for fall 2022 registration by having events that support them in their registration process. And the Student Congress is taking the lead on this and is looking for volunteers to help. The agenda has a link to a sign up. So we would really appreciate all those folks who can sign up for even a little bit to support Student Congress in their taking the lead on this. So I'll put this is the link to the agenda, and the link to the sign up is in there. So feel free. And then we have demos, 3 live demos for Extreme Makeover La Lima edition. Jamie, You want to say something about it?
Sure. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew about it. I've incessantly posted about it in the news bulletin. So in case you haven't seen that, but I did get questions. I had somebody from admin and a staff colleague reach out and say, hey, can we attend? Yes, I just wanted to be clear that the demos are open to anybody from KCC. And it's not about a new version of La Lima. It's just about, I've developed a bunch of themes that you can easily apply to kind of make La Lima look spiffier. So if you're interested, just attend one of the demos. I'll put the link in the chat. There's one going on at 3 o'clock today, tomorrow, and Friday. But you have to come to get in. So thanks.
Thanks, Jimmy. Questions for anyone? Okay, Noel, look, we have time for equity.
Yeah, just a real quick update. The other week I shared that the software third party equity is going to be the one that's going to be awarding our CARES funding to students. Oh, sorry, one moment. Renner.
Co-worker.
These co-workers, they don't listen. But so we did the first round of applicants last week. I believe we received around, I want to say about 290 so applications. Those have been reviewed. We're in the process of awarding it this week. And basically, I'm sending out another email to students and they'll fall into one categories. One, if they've been awarded, they'll get a timeline of when the funds will appear in their account. The other one is if they had trouble applying for funds or if they run into issues, I'll troubleshoot with them about how to actually send in the application. And the last one will be just a general email to anybody who has not yet applied. Basically, Equity runs for a week. They go Monday through Saturday and shut it down from Saturday to Sunday for them to evaluate all the applications. And by that following Monday, we should get a list. So if the process works correctly, within a week, the students receive the funds. So if you have any students asking about Equity, the best thing to do is just have them email my office and then we can kind of troubleshoot from there. The other one is if they're having application issues, they can always just email Equity itself, or there's a chat feature within the website that they could chat with. And usually that one gets it done fairly quickly. But again, that is Equity, and that is how we are awarding emergency funds to our students. And then also, if you're on the website, there's a banner about Equity and a bunch of the FAQs in case students run into issues. And that's it. Oh, sorry. The last one is, I believe, hopefully by next week, I think, the Equity portal will be open for non-credit students. So come Monday, that one will be open, and then I'll be working with Carol to ensure that all of the students are aware of those opportunities.
Right. So Noel, I am able to meet with you tomorrow and
Okay.
we'll be cleaning up the list.
All right.
That
Thank you.
will, okay.
Do you have a sense, Noel, of how much Equity has been able to distribute so far?
Well, Equity it breaks it down based on tiers, tier 1 and tier 2. So we are actually re-looking at awarding the students more. So in the past, it was 1,000 and 500 based on the 2 tiers. But based on, I guess, the questions that they're answering and looking at how much need there is and those students who are in tier 1 and tier 2, we're actually thinking about increasing the award from 1,000 up to the amounts of 3,000 per student. And once we post those awards, I will update the FAQs on what the students are being awarded. And then I also can share this at the next campus update.
Thank you. Okay, I don't think that there were any other admin ELT reports or anything.
Louise, I can ask Noel a quick question.
Probably.
Hey, Noel. Or Renner, maybe I'll ask Renner.
Yeah.
So the equity grants,
Yes.
those are federally funded.
Yeah, so this is a CARES money, the money we got from CARES,
Got it.
Carissa, ARPA, COVID, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. So if I have FAFSA and I get like maybe 1,500 a year,
Mhm.
this is in addition to, and so it's not a grant that like, you guys change the amount that I'm getting from FAFSA. It's actually money on top of my award.
So the easiest way to think about this is non-taxable income. So
Oh.
think about a COVID relief check that you have probably gotten in the past, or if you know people gotten in the past. So basically this would be the equivalent for our students enrolled at
Okay.
KCC. And then each college has a different allocation. So if you have students who are asking, they might be home campus at a different campus. All right, so that's the thing that might get a little bit confusing. Out of our total enrollment, the number that I got was about, I think it's 4,000 something. I know if I say the wrong one, somebody will send me a private message that it's the wrong number. But there is about 4,700 students that are home campus with us and enrolled in at least 3 credits. And basically that was like the minimum criteria. Also not international students, sorry, that's the other criteria. Yeah, so whatever amount they have, it won't go toward their financial balance to the college. They won't be asked on how to use it. They don't have to report it for tax purposes. They'll just kind of receive it.
Thank you.
Navaa, was that you that put in the fill rates into the agenda?
Did I? No.
Who did that? Bessa, who was it? I'll put it, I think, in the chat. We have been monitoring the enrollments by modality. And this is what somebody, and I could find out who it was that put it in there, but Kara put it in there. Ha, you're outed, Kara. And this is exactly what I've been noticing, just eyeballing those classes where there are sections that are face-to-face and sections that are online. And in all disciplines where that exists, even when the teacher is the same, the online class has more seats filled than the face-to-face class. And the hybrid has more than the face-to-face class. And the only place where that doesn't work or didn't work about a week ago was in Math 103, where some of the face-to-face classes had higher enrollments than the online sections. So the information that we got last spring and this fall about student preferences is borne out in how they're enrolling for the spring. Again, they're choosing more online classes where they have options. Some disciplines have no options. They're always, all the sections are online, but where there are options, face-to-face and online, they're choosing online more often. So interesting. Thank you, Kara, even though you didn't put your name on it. Some people know. Okay, let's see. We're done with the agenda. Maria.
I just want to say that we would really want to improve our participation verification numbers, because we were one of the lowest campuses among the 7 community colleges. So I would ask the department chairs, we have a plan, but it would depend on whether you have access to academic logic. So if you don't have access to academic logic, can you please email Noel? Right, Noel? You're the one who gives permission?
That's Star, if you don't know.
Yep.
Okay, so if you don't have any access to that one, could you please ask for access from Noel? And we'll talk about it later, what the plan is, but it all depends on that. So just in preparation for upping our numbers for participation verification, we need the chairs to have access to academic
Actually,
logic.
you know what, Maria, can I propose a different option instead of getting separate emails? Can we just hold 2 meetings? They'll probably last for less than 20 minutes, but if the department chairs can attend, I can then grant access and show you how to pull the report all in one. That way you guys
Okay.
get all the information all at once, because the academic logic is a little bit different. You need to do something on your part for me to grant you access. I'll work with you to do that one.
Okay.
That way we
Okay.
can kind of get it all done and everybody can know how to put a reports.
Okay, let's do that then. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. We're getting things done. Anyone have things they want to share? Feel free to unmute and share.
I have a question, Louise.
Yes, Annie?
I just am trying to figure out the vaccination policy for the spring in terms of, number one, it's my understanding that fully online students who don't submit the exemption and are not vaccinated can't come to campus, even if they have a recent COVID test, right? So Loomis site should show us if they're able to come or not. But what about a prospective student or a visitor that is entering the library? Do they, since they aren't submitting exemptions, are they required to be vaccinated? Or
They are required to be vaccinated or show results of a negative test.
so they can show results of a negative test without the exemption, but an online student cannot.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's because you expect visitors to spend a little bit of time here, not a lot of time here. So a negative test would be okay. It would be impossible to get exemptions for people who are visiting. It would take too long for them to have that happen. So if they can show us a current negative result for their visit, then that suffices.
Okay, thank you.
Louise,
Yes.
I think next week, is it next week, Monday, the last day to apply for an exemption?
December 6th, thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
December 6th is the last day to submit an application, a request for an exemption. And if people are not vaccinated yet, that's the last day to try to get your vaccination so that you can be fully vaccinated in time for January 3rd. Okay, we're done? You sure? Looks like it. Dave? What? No questions? No. All right. Looks like, where are you right now though? Is that Vegas?
No,
Behind
I'm just out on my street, out in front of my house, just looking down. Yeah, yeah. Getting into that holiday spirit. Yeah.
Oh my God. You're talking to the Grinch right now.
Oh, ooh, oh.
Not even a piece of tinsel. Carol.
Since Dave doesn't have a question, I'll ask him one. Dave, were you able to attend the tourism? Was there a tourism meeting, industry meeting?
Yeah, it was a workforce meeting. It was real preliminary, just kind of just kind of a quick snapshot of where everybody was at. Just to give it to you real quickly, I could give you more offline, but basically Anthology has been won a contract for the Hawaii Tourism Authority to do a much deeper dive into the workforce issues. So this first one was just, where should we be looking? What should we be focused on? Who should be at the table? And those kind of things. So they're going to create a series of focus groups to really start to understand, the issues of workforce development. Curiously, I was the only educator in the room, which was kind of interesting. Because we do play a role, I think, in getting people ready for the workforce. So yeah, but there were folks like the retail merchants. There was Hawaii Restaurant Association, Gary Gill from the labor
Union,
and folks from Starwood, Marriott. Yeah, in addition to Hawaii Tourism Authority. So yeah, it was just real preliminary at this particular point. So just to kind of get a temperature check and just to make sure that Anthology kind of knows where they want to go with.
Oh, great. I'm glad that if you were the only educator, I'm glad that you were at the table. that we were. at
Yeah,
the
I don't
table.
know if anybody, who else might have been, I don't know who else would have been invited, but yeah. I mean, I did make a major point to say, you know, because there was a lot of focus groups they had kind of sketched out. I said, just make sure we're at the table of some of these things, because what has a tendency to happen is, you know, we get this laundry list of all the things that we're supposed to do in a, you know, in a 2 or 4 year program. It would take probably about 16 years to get through it all. And a lot of times there's folks that don't really know what it is that we do or what we do have available. So I mentioned to David Pettinger, who's the president of Anthology, that, you know, I think awareness is going to be a big part of that. And just to be aware that, you know, we're willing to pivot and do different things in reaction to what the industry needs. We've been asking that question now for, you know, about 8 months. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to know where to aim when people don't tell you what they need.
Exactly. Yeah. I tell you, it was very weird to go downtown. I have not been downtown in a long time, and get dressed up, put long pants on, dress shoes, park at the park. Figure out how to park.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. I'm just going to repeat here in the chat. Amy Yamashiro let everybody know how to get in one of these lovely calendars from the Ecology Club. And on that note, we'll end this wonderful meeting, and I'll see you again December 15th. Good luck to the faculty and getting through the end of semester finals, final reviews, grading, all of the wonderful things that happen in the last week of the semester. Do take time to take care of yourself. Give yourself permission to do something that brings you joy so that you can replenish. And in the meantime, everybody can unmute and say goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
birthday.
See you next time.
Happy